Hello, my friends. Amy with Campbell Creations, and today I am using Bargain Bead Box September 2025 sweater weather, and we are going to have fun. Happy Monday to you. I'm so happy that you're here with me on this mat. We have quite a bit of work to do today, but it is all going to be so much fun because we're making a three-piece set. Three-piece set! And we are using lots of goodies. Lots and lots of goodies. We may break the bank today on bead caps as well because I get to do some stacking and I love stacking. So here is where we are getting started. You see what I have here. Okay, these aren't put together at all. This is. Okay, this is what's going to be the start of our necklace. And what I'm doing here, I wanted to put this part together just so you could get a look at it before we start doing the process, because this is all one like solid piece put together, right? All to be one piece. This is the way I decided I wanted to utilize my beautiful little flower cups. So we see the back of it. This is not difficult. I'm going to show you how to do it, and it will be fun. So we're pulling in these, pulling in one of these filigree pieces here. We have our cubes, beautiful, beautiful cubes, super excited about bringing those in. We have some of these little rondelles. We're using some of those big, beautiful blue kind of squared bellflowers. We're pulling in these. And these are the reason why I'm pulling in some of my spacers, because that color, just that brightness that pops through, I wanted that to kind of go throughout the entire piece. So the necklace is going to be a 2-strand. And what else do we have from the box? We have the chain that we pulled in. We're using that toggle. There's just a whole lot of happiness going on. I am using the spacers that's in the box. Okay, so everything is those beads we just talked about. I have some of my little spacers that I'm pulling in here for the strand portion. Okay, they're going to come into play. I'm pulling in these dotted spacers that came with the box, and I also have some of these antiqued gold spacers, dotted spacers that I'm pulling in, and they're just a little bit smaller than these because a couple of these links that we're going to make look like this. Fun, 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 I think. Love them. I just love them. So I left one out just so you could see that. I'm going to be pulling in just a couple also that's from my stash of these little bitty kind of squared bellflowers. And they are just kind of that opaque, clear, and just so fun. So we're going to pull some of those in. I have lots of bead caps going on. I have some big bead caps here. I'll link them below. These came in the same set that these came in. Okay, so we're going to be pulling some of these in. I got these on Amazon. So much fun, so much fun. All of those came together, so I'll have those linked. These little bead caps I'm using are from beadboxbargains.com. You'll see them on several hauls because until they were sold out, they were in every single order because I love them. Now these are fun. So these I got off of Amazon. I'm pretty sure they came through Panda Haul, and they didn't just come in the blue. They came in, let's see, lots of colors, lots of colors. They were also part of a haul, but these are going to be so much fun pulled in, and they came in some of these pinks. Aren't those so pretty? All different kinds, and they came in these greens. Oh, you want to hide? Some of these like green blues. Oh, they really do want to hide. My, oh my. Some of these greens, all different kinds, and then we have these blues. So I've been waiting to use them. I've been wanting to use them, and I'm super excited that I get to today. So we're pulling those in. I have some just 4-petal little antique gold bead caps that we're going to pull in. And then I have my spacers from Amazon. These spacers, they'll be linked. From Hobby Lobby, I get these little spacers. From Fire Mountain, I get my 3mm gold and antique bronze spacers. And then I also pulled in, I have some of my #1 crimp tubes that we're going to be using for fillers in the backs of these. And then I also pulled out some bronze ones just in case. I had a thought and I don't know if I'm going to do it, but I pulled them out just in case. Also, for the center here that's going to be in our flowers, these came in that mix that was in the box. So these were part of that mix. They are lots of fun. And when we get to the bracelet, we'll be pulling in more from that mix. So I think we're caught up. Nope, we're not caught up. Wire. I have 22 gauge gold wire, and I have a couple cut to about 5 inches and a couple cut to about 4 inches. Now we may not need this much. I just cut it off and here we go. The extra that was on what I cut off is up here just in case I mess up or we need to use it. And then the other wire I'm pulling in that's going to be part of this is I have 10 inches of 26 gauge gold wire and then 6 inches of 28 gauge bronze. Okay, so that's how we're pulling those in, and that's what this is going to be. And that's where I think we're going to get started, except our beading wire. I'm going to have one strand, and I am using Soft Flex Satin Silver Color in Fine for that strand. And then for the bracelet, I'll be pulling in Soft Flex Beautiful Blue that's in medium. Okay, now I think we're caught up. All right, let's do this. Let's do some beading. So whoever said that Mondays are not fun was not part of this Monday on this bead mat with us. So let's get to it. I'm going to go ahead first and I'm going to make this other link here. Okay, and then after I make this link, then we'll come back and we will finish out this focal and then we'll continue on. So I think that's the best place to start. So to do that, I'm going to pull in one of my 26 gauge gold and one of my 28 gauge bronze. Okay, and then I have an extra one of that 28 gauge bronze over here that's going to be factored in with this. So I'm going to set the bronze aside for just a moment. With this 26 gauge, I am going to get this folded in half. And so I'm going to marry up the two ends because I want this, whenever I do this in half, it's not going to have a loop. It's going to be parallel wire. So I'm just going to get this started here, just pinch it good. And then I'm going to come in here with my pliers and I'm going to be easy. And I'm just going to easily start pinching these together. And I want these two wires to be parallel with each other. So you want to be patient here. It'll want to roll on you. Just be easy does it. There we go. Then we have them sitting parallel with each other. Oh, there we go. We have them, here we go, sitting parallel with each other. And then I'm just going to bring these down. Okay, so I'm going to give a little bit more of a pinch a little further up just to make sure we're good. And then I'm going to flatten this out just a little bit. Make sure that we are in line because they will always want to cross each other. And if they do, it's okay. It's okay. But I definitely want this tip part to stay parallel. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this tip is I'm going to put just a little bitty hook here at the end. So I'm going to come at the very tip top of my needle nose pliers and I'm going to give just a little hook. Okay, and I'm going to close that hook in on itself because it's going to be the tip here. And so at this part, it's going to want to separate, it's going to want to roll. Just be patient with it. Just give it just a little bitty squeeze, little squeezes. If you need to come in and squeeze the other way just to make sure it stays, you know, together, you can do that. Little squeezes. Okay, and that's what I'm looking for. Little bitty there, little bitty. And so on this, what I'm wanting to pull in is one of these little guys, just set on the tip. And you know what? Maybe I'll do a big one. Which one did I do on this? I used a little bitty guy, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, so I'm going to come in here, pop this guy on, and then I'm going to pop one of these beauties on. Both of those wires go through there. We're just going to pull those up to the top. Okay, so we're going to have that little nub poking out there. And this is going to go through this beauty. Isn't that so cool? It's got a bit of a rounded back. Okay, so it's nice for setting into this divot. So I'm going to put both of those through there. I'm just going to pull him in, and that's what we're looking at. Just sits right in there. Super cute. Super, super cute. Okay, now I'm going to put this through the center, like so. I just think it's just absolutely adorable. And then on the back, I'm wanting to put one of my 4mm bead caps, okay, just as kind of a holding spot. But before I do that, I'm going to sit this down and I'm going to bring in my bronze wire. So with my bronze wire, I'm going to bring in my round nose pliers, and I want to be about center, okay? And actually, if you want to, let's do this. We could kind of marry them up just so we know about where that center is. See? Woohoo! And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a very small, very tiny little loop. See how close I am down there at the end? Very tiny. And so I'm going to cross these over and then make sure they're together. So if these two are separated, just pinch them together, right? And I'm going to leave these out just like so. And we have that little bitty loop in there. This little bitty loop is going to go through these two wires on the back. So pop these two wires through there. Okay, so now this is what we're looking at. But before we put this on, I'm going to grab my pliers and I'm going to give on each side just a little, woo, grab a hold of it, just a little pull, because I want that to be tight. So I'm just going to give a little pull. I don't want to kink my wire too bad or anything. I just want it to be tight on there. Okay. So now this is tight right on the back of that. And then I'm going to put on my 4mm bead cap. Both of these wires go through that bead cap. And what this is going to do is just give a little something something there for what we're about to do next, right? So now I'm going to separate these wires. Okay, so now both of the wires are going to be separated, and I'm going to pinch those wires, if we're looking at the back here, pinch them all the way down so that is snug. Okay, it's not going anywhere, it's snug. So we have these two wires. What I was looking for in this is not necessarily to twist the wires and it look like, you know, the wires are twisted. I have one gauge that's just a little bit bigger than the other gauge, and you can use the same gauge. That's perfectly fine. I was more so, you know, my process is going to be the same twist, but I was more so looking for it to look as if that bronze is just simply twisted around the gold. And you see here, it's not all perfectly sequential all the way up. That's okay. But whenever I make a wrapped loop with that, isn't that cool? It just gives so much more depth to that link. It's just so cool. I love it. It gives a little more, you know, sturdiness, but it has a little more flexibility than if I was to just pop in a 22 gauge wire. Okay, so I have a little more flexibility going on. It gives me that extra little look, and I just like it. We are mixing some metals big time today, and that was the start of it. So here's what I'm going to do from here. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put my thumb where this connection is. Okay, so I have my 2 fingers over this to where it's keeping it secure. I have my thumb over the back, and I have these 2 wires out as a V. Okay, I'm looking to braid this up about 2 inches. It's about 2 inches, right? From the back. Yeah, we're coming out right about 2 inches. If it's a little bit more, that's okay, but I'd really like that 2 inches to make sure that we can have enough, I can have enough of my finger to give a good wrap here. Okay, so I'm going to hold on to this. I'm going to bring this up just a tad, and I am going to be twisting them. And because one of these is a smaller gauge than the other, it is going to look as if that gold wire never was twisted. It's going to look like I just wrapped this bronze wire all the way around the gold. And to me, I think that's cool. So I'm just going to twist, twist, twist. And I like to keep this V. Keeping that V keeps me in rhythm, Okay, and I'm going to come up a little bit with my thumb just to keep this from making down here tighter and not just moving up. Okay, so I'm putting my thumb over that, and I'm going to continue to twist. I really like this method, and I've used this method before, in a bracelet. It was that, make the 5 bracelets with me. It was about a month and a half ago, maybe. And where are we at? We're at 2 inches. So I'm going to clip this off now. And that's what we're looking at for that side, right? So, okay, I had to back away for a moment. I have a new kitten. Yes, yes, yes. She is a little rescue. I think it's a girl. When I first got the baby, we thought it was a boy, but I think it's a girl. She goes on Thursday to the vet, but she was climbing my leg. She likes to sleep at my feet while I bead, and she also likes to climb my leg every now and then. So, all right, so we're just going to do the same thing here on this other side. Okay, so I'm just going to twist them. And her name is Athena. And she is all white. I'll put a picture of her, probably a picture or a video of her and Jasper. Her and Jasper are hilarious together. Oh my goodness, they are hilarious. I'm telling you, Jasper is the best big brother ever. And, oh, speaking of which, I won't forget, at the end of this video, I'm going to put a video that I took this morning of Jasper and Squirt playing. It is so fun. They play all the time now. And a lot of times I don't have my phone out because I'm just all in with them, So, but today I just so happened to have my phone right there. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to record this. And I only got part of it on there, but they're just so fun. But she's all white, and she has cream at the tip of her ears, and cream at the tip of her nose, and her little tail, I think, as she gets older, is going to turn into being almost like a striped with that cream, like more so when it gets towards the end. She's just a beautiful baby. But so the mother was a rescue, and of my son's girlfriend. Okay, so my son's girlfriend rescued this mama cat and then realized the mama cat was pregnant. And so she was like, all right, what do you do? What do you do? So mama cat had the kittens, and they thought they had homes for all of the kittens. But Athena, which I think is a girl, they thought she was a boy. And so the home that was going to take her said, no, we only want a female cat. And so then they were like, oh my goodness, all the kittens are it's time to go, we need to do something. And then I had went over there to take them some food that I made, and I was like, oh, all right, you're coming home with me. You're coming home with me. Okay, anyways. So on the back of this, what I'm looking for is I want a filler to kind of this point to the edge of the flower, and then we're going to make the rest of it this link, you know, which is just so cute, right? And that filler is going to be 7 of our little number 1 crimps. 7 ended up working out right on the other one, so we'll see. Not all of them will fit. Okay, so I have 7 of those on there, and yep, it comes right to the edge. Okay, and so then after that, I'm going to pull in one of our smaller little rainbow plated spacers. I get these at Hobby Lobby and I love them. Love them. Okay, and then we are going to make this link. So for this link, I'm stacking bead caps. And so I'm going to be pulling in, I want there to be a 3mm gold on top of our 5mm bronze. And aren't those just so fun? And that is going to have a cube on it. Okay, so did I not get to? Nope, I sure didn't. I was so just wanting to show you one. Okay. So we'll pop that on there, and then thank you, little spacer, for jumping out at me. Okay, and then I'm just gonna make a wrapped loop with this. All it is. All it is. And so I'm pretty sure, let me check, because I'm gonna be connecting this, right? And so, yeah, I want it to go this way. So I'm gonna pop in here. I wanna make sure that it is all the way down. I don't want any spacing in this. I'm just gonna do a little wrapped loop. And so I like the kind of bit of pliability that this has, but it's definitely more durable with these two wrapped together than it would be otherwise with just that 26 gauge, of course. But I just love the look of it as well. Oh, I so love the look of it. I think I'm going to pull in my pliers just so I get it nice and tight. Around here 3 times. Okay, and we'll clip that off, and here is our one side of our link. Cute, 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 cute. Make sure there's no pokies in here. I love the look of that. I just really love the look of it. There it goes. So nice. Oh, I just closed that. Amy, Amy, Amy. I tell you, my friends, I tell you. So hang tight. I'm going to redo this real quick. And then we're going to come back and put it together. All right, here we go. Okay, so here we are. I went ahead, I have both of these with the wrapped loop started but not completed because this is going to be connected here. Okay, but before I do that, let's go ahead and do the rest of this focal. Okay, that way I don't have 2 parts dangling off it as I'm doing that. So it's going to be kind of the same thing. We're just not bringing links out with it. Okay, the links are coming from these 2 sides. So what I'm going to be using is the 28 gauge bronze wire for this. All right, and I am going to get this folded in half. and I'm wanting, just like the other, I'm wanting this to be parallel. So I'm going to bring them close together. And I'm just doing short little squeezes. There we go. And so I have these two parallel. There's a little bitty loop at the end. That's okay. That's okay. It's a little thinner than the other wire, so that's just fine. I'm going to do that same little hook here at the end. So I'm going to give that little hook. Okay, and then I'm going to close that in. And actually, I went a little sideways on him. Not a biggie. But I'm going to close that in on itself. So again, I'm going to be just real patient, easy, little squeezes, because I just want that little nub poking out there, like so. Just a little bitty. And so we're going to be doing similar to the same process, but I do want to stack these. So I have another one of these, and I think just with it poking out just a little bit, it gives that little extra depth. I think it's fun, and it's a little extra something to go for that actual focal, right? So I'm going to do that same process though of getting my little spacer on here. That little hook's going to stop that spacer, and then I'm going to do one of these oh so pretty beads from that mix. Okay. I'm going to come in here, pop them both through. So here we are so far. And then I'm going to also take it through this one. So you see, it just gives that little bit of something something that's poking out, and I just really like it. Really, really do. So I'm going to put both of these through here. And this is what we're looking at for the focal one. And then on the back, I'm going to do that same thing with the 4mm bead cap. And actually on this one, do I want to do bead cap or do I want something a little more sturdy? Maybe we'll do one of these guys. Actually, no. I'm going to do a bead cap on the back of this because I'll use that on the back of this. That's probably what would be best. He looks like his hole is plugged. It is. We'll set him aside. Okay. So I'm going to pop him on. Just so that on the back of this, before it's connected to anything, it has that little something on the back just to say, hey, you're sticking together. Okay, so that's just going to go on the back there. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to go through the center hole here. And then from the center hole, I'm going to pull in one of these spacers. So this spacer is essentially doing the same thing, just on the back of that. Like a little extra something that gives it the security of being together, especially because we are using just dainty little wire, but it'll be just fine. It will hold just fine. Okay, so I'm wanting to do the same thing I was doing before, right? So I'm holding onto this, holding onto this. I just have a dangle now also going on. And what I'm going to do is everything is held just like it should be, and I'm going to bring this all the way over and I'm going to push it all the way down. That way I know it is all the way up against there. Okay, and then I'm going to braid or twist this wire, and it's going to end up being smaller, so it's going to give me a little more pliability to do what I'm about to do with this. Okay, so these two I'm just going to twist. It doesn't have to be a super cool pretty twist, nothing like that. Okay, just a twist to bring it together, to give it a little bit more strength, and then we're going to kind of wrap it through and around here just to secure it to this filament piece. So just twisting him. Stay there, buddy. You're going to be important here in just a moment. And I could have put him on after I twisted these, totally. But here we go. Kind of helps me as a holder, you know. I'd say that's plenty. And then I'll measure it and see what it is, just for reference. About 1.5 inches. Okay, so we're about 1.5 inches there. So for this, what I'm wanting to do is I'm going to bring in my pliers, and I'm just wanting to wrap this around a couple of these loops. And so I'm going to, you know, go ahead and get him started as far as wanting to, you know, be flexible and bend a little bit and be manipulated the way I plan to manipulate him. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a hole, any old hole, but a hole to where I can go in through one side and out through the other, or in through one side and out kind of towards the other, right? I don't want to go too close to where this hole is here, just because I'm going to have a hard time getting in and through there. But you see, we have all of the span of this area that's not going to be seen because it's covered by what's on the front, right? So all sorts of options on this, all sorts of options. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in through this one because he's a little bigger. Okay, so I'm going to go in through him. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and push this kind of all the way through. So it's easiest, instead of just pulling from the other side, if we're giving that push from this side, it's kind of, you know, allowing that. Oh, he wants to come up through another hole already. Nope, we're not ready for that yet, bud. Because I'm wanting it to be flush up against the back as well, right? So this helps me to make sure that that's happening. Okay, so I'm going to push down. Now that's flush up against the back. See there? Then from this side, I come in here. I'm going to give a little bit of hook here at the end. And I'm going to get him ready because he's going to be doing some work for me. And I'm going to put him through that next hole that I want him to come through on. So I'm kind of doing the same thing where I'm kind of pushing him from this side. Okay, so I'm going to come back here. I'll pull it the rest of the way. And when I come through here, I'm going to take this and go under the wire that I've already placed there. So that gives it that extra durability. And because I've pushed it so close, it's going to be kind of, you know, not necessarily a challenge, but you're going to have to push it under there. Squish him a little bit. Oh, he's getting caught on one of those. I gotcha, little fella. I'll bring this up a little bit, just for a moment, to get you under there. I'm just grabbing a hold of him. Bringing him around. I'm going to go one more time. So I'm wrapping him around, giving him that bend, letting him know he's about to do something for me. And when I give that bend, he's going to want to just kind of instinctively go back under that same little hole, the same little spot. Oh. Oh, his end has opened. Hold on, let me clip that off just a little bit. That'll help us. Go back in your spot, little spacer. There we go. bring him back through that same little wrap. Grab hold of him. And pull. Okay, so we are secure here with a couple of wraps, and this is cutesy. So you see how it's kind of gives that 3D effect, but it's totally secure. Oh, I like it. But it allows that little bit of flexibility. And this guy, I see what I'm going to do here. You know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to, when I'm done here, I'm going to pop just a dab of E6000 on there. Just a spot of it. Just to make sure he stays. And when I cut this off here, I'm going to get all the pokies out, but that E6000 will also act as a kind of protectant, kind of a layer over it. So it'll give it kind of the ability for it to all be together one piece. It'll be a little protectant over that, and it will also ensure that this all stays like happiness where it should be. Okay, so here is our focal and our one link. We're about to connect the other link. So just one moment here. Okay, I had let the dogs out whenever I was redoing this, and I forgot to let them back in before I came back. So, you know. All right, so the way we're connecting this is the center is right here, and I'm going to be at that end loop that's on the next set of 3. So here, so we are on the next set of 3 over. Okay, so let's get this one side going. I'm going to open him up just a little bit. Let's make sure, because I do this backwards the first time, like every time. I don't know how I can get so lucky to do it backwards the first time, almost every single time, but I think through there, buddy. Did I open you enough? Yeah, I did. Let's see. How'd I do? I did it! Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and finish this wrap. Get a little hold on him. I might bring in my needle nose, actually. Give a nice little hold on him. Perfect. Perfect. Let's bring him out here. And then just go around. Oh, he wanted to connect. No, we're already connected. So he is good now. So let's turn that off. I so love the look of this. So love the look of it. Get him pinched down real well. Okay. So here is what we're looking at now. I'm going to go ahead and finish out this side, and then we'll make the links that this is all going to connect to. So here on this side, I need 7 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Woohoo! I got 7. Did you see that? Yeah. I need 2 of these, and I need 2 2 of these, and I need 1 more of these. Okay, so come in here, grab these guys. Oh, and he's a little one. Is he gonna fit? I may have to replace him. Nope, I don't think he's gonna fit. We'll just swap. Okay, I'll put on one of these spacers. These cubes are just gorgeous, but I'm not ready for them yet. So I'm going to do a gold 3mm bead cap, and then our bronze, then pop our cube on, followed by bronze and gold and spacer. So I'm loving that what these spacers are going to do. Okay, so these spacers are going to give just that little hint of a pop that is going to be so fun, and I believe it's really going to travel the eye all the way up the piece, just all the way up the piece. Make sure I'm even here. Now I'm going to go ahead and close this one and the other one, and our next link we will connect to it. Okay, get him in there. We'll get that wrapped up. I don't want to mar that twist, but I need to also hold him well. There we go. Ooh, that ended up being a small loop. Ooh, 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 ooh. Let's see if I can straighten him out a little bit, because he is tiny and I want some movement in this piece. I want it to be good and not kink all up. Oh, I think he'll be okay. There you are. Just bring in that end. Make sure that it is good. Tighten down. And then we'll do the same thing on this other side. Oh boy. He can go around the rest of the way. Okay, so this is where we are. So cute, so cute. Okay, stuff over here. So now the links that we're going to be connecting this to. So I had shown you this one. Okay, we need 3 more of these. Okay, so there's going to be 2 on each side, so we need 3 more of these, and I'm short a wire. Hey, look, I had an extra. And then we're going to do 2 that involve these. Okay, so let's go ahead and knock out real quick some more of these. And so I'll do one slower and we'll talk through it, and then I'll probably speed it up while I do the other ones real quick, and then we'll do that other link. So we're just going to knock out a wrapped loop here. And I need to remember that I have one side closed so that I keep the other side open, because you know, I'm just all about closing them up. And that one has both sides closed, so I'm going to need to be conscious of that. Or I can do another one. It is a-okay either way. Okay, I'm going to close him up. Make sure he's secured down. He has a little bit of spacing there, so I'm going to bring him up a little bit, tighten that up a little bit. Okay, like that. Okay, and so what I'm looking to do here is I'm bringing in the bigger of those rainbow. Okay, I'm stacking some bead caps. So I'm going to have some gold, I'm going to have some bronze, and then I'm pulling in spacers. So we're going to come in here with one of these, and then I'm going to do 3mm gold bead cap, followed by our bronze, followed by one of our cutesy petal bead caps. So here's where we are so far. So cute, right? Now, I'm wanting, because there's going to be a little bit of space. Okay, so move these to the side here. So there's going to be a little bit of space between this and our daisy spacers. Okay, so I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to do one bronze, one of our gold, oh my, he says, no, I don't want to, and bronze. Okay, I'm going to do another one of these small spacers, and then I'm going to go right back down that series. So we're going to be here, followed by here, and here, with one of our bigger at the end. That's what we're looking at. And that's so cool, so much depth, so much, and I love it. Oh, I love it. Okay, so I'm just going to start the wrapped loop. I say it like that to remind myself. And then we are going to connect it to this link. Okay, so I'll just open them up a little bit. Yeah, there'll be plenty of space there. Okay, and let's come in with our needle nosed. Okay, so I'll keep a hold of him, give just a few little wraps here. Cinch him down like so. So that's what we're looking at here for the start. Now, I'm going to go ahead, actually, I'm going to make the other link, and then I'll speed it up while I make the rest of them, right? That way, it'll be a little more efficient. So the other link that I'm wanting to put in between, so I'm going to have one other link here, and then this one at the end. Okay, this is going to be for our first strand. Okay, so for that other link, and this is oh so fun, And just to be sure, just to be safe, I think I might just start the wrapped loop. Yes, because I'll use that one. Okay, so on this one, what I'm looking for is to bring these guys in. Okay, these guys with one of these in the middle, and we are going to probably bead cap and bead cap and bead cap and bead cap because it's going to be fun. Okay, so when I come in here, I'm wanting these to be down to where they're facing away from each other. Okay, so each open spot is going to be faced towards the wrap. All right, so actually, just to make sure I get my spacing right, I am going to go ahead and close up one of these sides. I kind of struggle with that. If I don't, I'm not getting my spacing right. And then I'm going to bring him up because he has too much spacing. Speaking of spacing. There we go. Just to make sure that I am good. So from here, I'm wanting to come in with, let's see, how did I want to do that? Did I want to do a big one? No, I don't think so. I think I want a small one. Okay, so I'm going to do a small one, and I'm going to pull in these little guys here. Okay, one of these. So with this, I'm then going to bring in one of our little bead caps. It's one of our little 3 millimeters. And I'm going to put that up into this little bellflower cap like that. Yep, I wanted a big one. So we'll do a big one. And one of our bead caps. That way that bead cap kind of peeks out from under that, right? So you kind of have that little, so cute. And then I'm going to pull in one of our 4 millimeter before I put this on. Okay, so we're going to have this little layering effect going on. And it's just so cute. So cute. On top of this, I want to pull in these. And these came with the same, it's the same box, the same order that all of these came in. Okay, so they were all together. Okay, so I'm going to pop him on. And he just looks so good on top. I just love it. Like, love, love, love. On top of that, and I did try with this, okay, with this one specifically, I did try the ones from the box. Actually, let me show it to you. It just didn't feel right. So if I was to use one of these bead caps from the box, I just wasn't digging it. I just wasn't digging it. So I was like, nope, trust me, we'll have plenty to use those for. So I like these. And it's also keeping me consistent throughout. And then I'm going to do another 3 millimeter gold. So this is what we're looking at for that. Yeah, so cute. And then I'm going to come in with my little, so I just want my little rainbow spacer here. And then we're going to go in for this. And with this, I'm going to have gold, bronze, cube, bronze, gold. That's so pretty. Oh, I just love it. And then another one of our little bitties here, and then we're just going to go back into this. So we're going to pop right back on with one of our 3 millimeter gold, followed by our bronze, one of these beauties here, our blue bellflower, and then underneath that bellflower I'm going to have the 4 millimeter bead cap, followed by this little white, or kind of opaque white in there, and then I'm going to put a little bead cap and then a big rainbow. Yeah. Yeah. It's just beautiful. That's just happiness right there. I love it so much. Okay, I'm not going to close this all the way because we're going to be connecting it. Okay, so I'm going to have them going the same direction. We will start that wrapped loop. We'll just connect this. Close them up. And I really, really like my little bent chain nose for these because you see how it just gets right up in there? So good, so good. I'm gonna wrap that around. Got 3 loops. We'll pluck him off. And cinch him down. Oh, he's turning on me. Gotcha. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. So what we're going to have is this is going to be our first strand. So it starts down here, comes up through, and then all we're going to have at the top of this is another one of these. Okay, so I'm going to quickly put together the other links that go with it, put them in here, and then we'll move on. Okay, so if by chance this is a skipping to this point, that means the video is going a little bit too long and I needed to cut some time out. So hopefully though, you got to see that in fast motion. That way you at least see the process again and again, just on a little quicker speed. So isn't that beautiful? I love it. I love it. I love it. Actually, let's just look at it. Let's just look at it. So here we are up here at the top, coming down through, and oh, so pretty. So pretty, so pretty, so pretty. Okay, so now let's talk about our strand, which is going to be that second layer. Okay, and this strand, not going to be difficult. Nope, not at all. With the strand, and I am going to kind of judge it. I originally was going to go ahead and block this off, you know, go ahead and put the clamshell connector on, but I want to make sure on my length I may be adding a little bit more than what my original design idea was, just to make sure that it's the length that I'm looking for. Okay, so we are going to be pulling in our cubes. We're going to be pulling in these beauties here. We're going to be pulling in these guys, and we're definitely pulling in these, and a whole lot of these, and some of these. Okay, so yeah, we got some things and stuff going on. Oh, and these, and probably definitely these. So this is what we're doing. So what I'm thinking is going to be the ending point is a series that is similar to this, not the same, but similar on a smaller level. So that's where I think I'm going to be going. So I'm going to have one of our small guys here, and then I'm going to come in with one of these spacers. And when I do these spacers, I'm going to have 3 in a row. But what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to have a 3mm bead cap facing towards the first one and the last one, and the middle one open. That's kind of the look that I'm going for on it. So the center one won't have any. And then I'm going to do a bead cap facing away that goes towards that third here. And so then give me a sec here and I'll show that to you. Let's put another little spacer in here. So this is that series that I'm looking for. Okay, when the bead cap was going towards the center one on both sides, it kind of enveloped that center one so much that you didn't hardly see it. It was just kind of all bead cap, and I wanted that depth. I wanted that coloring to come through. I wanted all the things and stuff. So that's what did it for me. Okay, that's what did it for me. So from this point, we're going to go into our cubes. And so let's come in here. And for our cubes, it's going to be the same thing that it was on this strand for the cube. So I'm going to bring in one of our 3mm gold, followed by this beautiful 5mm bronze. Then we'll pop that cube on. Do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so followed by gold. And then after this, I'm going to, again, do one of these little guys here, but I'm going to be incorporating this. And this is going to be a little bit backwards. This is where the rest of these that I have come into play. So I'm going to do the 4mm. Oh, hold on. First, because I'm doing the bronze, so I'm going to do a 3mm bronze, a 4mm gold, because I want that to be opposite, and then one of these beauties. That way I'm not overdoing this, and it also gives that variation. So this one is the bronze gold, and this one is the bronze gold, but backwards. Gold, bronze, gold, bronze. Okay, and you know what? I'm almost thinking, I think that might look cool if I do that big in there. No, I don't want too much of a pop. I'm going to go with this. I'm going to go with what my original idea was. Okay, so I'm going to re-bead cap that, followed by that bronze, followed by one of our little rainbow spacers. Okay, then I'm going to come right back in. So I have 3mm gold, followed by that 5mm bronze, one of our beautiful cube beads, and then right back on that other side. So then we'll have there, there, and then we'll come right back into our little spacer sequence here. Okay, so I'm going to do another one of our small guys here. Hello. We'll do bronze, bead cap facing towards, I'm so used to doing that center one going away. Going towards that, this guy all by himself. And then we'll do one going away towards the third. Okay, now what's going to be different in this series is on the series that's going to be with these, I have that rainbow on both ends of this spacer series. But on this side, because of what I'm wanting to do, I'm not wanting to do that. I'm not wanting to put that because I'm going to come in with one of these. Because one of these, wait till you see this, I think it is just perfection. And I didn't want anything in the middle of that. Look at that. Right? And so at that time, it's going straight up and it's butting against that. So I'm going to do the same thing here on the other side. So I'm going to come in here with our bronze daisy spacer. Bead cap going towards the back side of it. Spacer all by itself. Bead cap facing away towards that other bronze, but we are going to have here rainbow. Okay, So I'm just going to repeat this series. That's all it's going to be. Okay, I'm going to come back in through here and then go and go and go. So it's going to be super metal heavy, and I'm absolutely loving it. Absolutely positively loving it. Okay. So bead cap, cube, bronze bead cap, gold bead cap, spacer. Then we're doing 3mm bronze, 4mm gold with our little rondelles. So then gold, bronze, spacer. And then we're coming in with 3mm gold, 5mm bronze, and another cube. Love it so much. I mean, I just wanted to keep, I was like, I want this to be a 20 strand necklace. I just want all the things and all the stuff. Okay, one sec here. Kitty cat's on my other bead table. All right, so now we're going to go into the series that flanks this bead. So then we are going to put in a spacer here. Wait till you see this baby girl, though. It is so hard for her to be in trouble. She is so stinking cute. But you know, she's the first kitten I have ever had that doesn't like to be held. She's super busybody, very curious about everything, and she doesn't want to be held and snuggle. And that's, to be honest, a little difficult for me. I'm like, I want to snuggle you. But that's okay. That's okay. Her and Jasper together, though, oh, it's just hilarious. Hilarious. And she's smart. She gives this little, like, you know, oh, poor me, meow, you know, to where Jasper, like, stops playing, and then she goes at him, all four legs, like, Jasper's like, well, wait a minute, that wasn't part of the plan. Hilarious. I mean, just been laughing hysterically, and, you know, I'm getting quite the zoo going on here. Luckily, I work from home, right? Oof. Do this last one here, and on this last one, we want our spacer. And then I'm going to go right back up the series. So this, with this being the center, is what I thought the strand would be. Okay, now it may end up being more depending on how it lays, what my spacing looks like. I need another 2 of those. What that spacing looks like. So we'll see. You know, we'll see. Okay, so from here I'm going in with 3mm. I think I might need more of those. We'll see. Whoop. There's a little crunching in the background. I do have kitty cat food in here, so I apologize for that. All right, so then we'll bring this in. We'll do our little spacer. And you see that little rainbow spacer, it's just a little something something, right? It's just a little something something through there. Is that not just gorgeous? That is happiness. Okay, now we're going to be doing this bead. So we need a 3mm bronze, 4mm gold, one of these, and then 4mm here on our gold, 3mm bronze, spacer, and then right back in with that 3mm gold. cube. Spacer. Okay, and then with this one, I'm not going to be putting that spacer in there. So I'm going to come in here with this beauty. Big bead. So happy, so happy. And let me apologize for my scratches. Between the kitten and the squirrel, yeah. But again, none of these are mean scratches. None of them are mean scratches. You know, whenever Squirt is playing, this arm especially is home base, right? So he's on my arm and then he'll venture here and then back to my arm and then venture here and back to my arm and then venture here and back to my arm. And so with my arm being home base, you know, it just, especially with his excitement, he just, yeah, he gets me, you know. And it doesn't, the thing is it doesn't really hurt at the time. It's afterwards and I see my arm and I'm like, ooh, that's not good. That looks terrible. I mean, terrible enough that I went to my doctor last week and I had to explain that I'm okay, I'm safe at home. You know, I just have fun animals and I play with them. And, you know, it causes some battle wounds. Oh, kitty cat's on the bead table again. Miss Athena. No, Miss Athena. No. No. That is my bead table. It is not your bead table. Here, let me see if you guys can see her little face. Oh, it's going to be too hard. It's going to be too hard. Sweet Athena. No, it's going to be too hard. Sorry, baby. Sorry, baby. I was going to show you off. I'll still show you off. No more bead table, okay? No more bead table. I'll play with you here in just a little bit. Okay, and then here I need 4mm. Okay. Oh, that was an awful lot I got out. That's okay. Okay, 4mm, one of our rondelles. Oop. Let's see. I'm really wanting to see if this ends up being the depth I was looking for, because I didn't fully, I need another bead cap, don't I? Yeah, I do. I didn't fully, you know, finish it out. I just knew what I was looking for, you know, and I was like, yep, I'm good. Let's go. Get out a couple of those. Pin one. Lots of bead caps today. And there's lots of bead caps that's going to be going on in the bracelet as well. I didn't want the bracelet to be full-on matchy-matchy, you know, but I wanted it to have that something, you know. Okay, so Here's this, and then we're going to have that final little series, or potentially final little series. Okay. Here. Okay, and space bead. Okay, so let's see where we are. So let's move this stuff over. Spacers can go up there. Okay, so here's that strand, and actually here, let's look at it. I just think this is gorgeous. Just absolutely gorgeous. So if this strand was up here, and then this one finished at the same spot, right? So let me bring this up. So if they finished at the same spot, am I looking for that spacing? And you know what? I think I'm pretty good with it. I think I'm pretty good with it. Oh, you know what's funny? I have not thought about how I'm going to connect those two, what I'm going to do. I know I can't use the 3-to-1 connector, this, because I only have one left. That would have been cool though. That would have been cool, and just had a little dangle in the middle. Oh, so if you're remaking this and you still have some of those, that would look really, really cool, you guys. Just a little dangle, a little something, something that comes through here. Or you could do like a Coriana chain through here. That would be good. That would give that extra pop. That would be really cool. Okay, anyways, I can't do that. I can't do that. Okay, so let me see. I don't think I want to use or to do these, right? Now, could I? Yes, I could do these, and I could probably do like 2 connection links going up, kind of like a V above it that would go to our chain. I could probably do that. I could, oh, I have these. I got these out because I was thinking about using those for the earrings and didn't. I could connect them that way. However, if these were together, like super together, right? If these were way together, how would that look as far as my spacing? You know, like these two being like grouped up together. Would that be then too much? Right? And actually, I'm almost kind of thinking I wanted this to be a little bit longer. Let's see. No, because I want to make sure that they have their own pops, right? If this is too close to that, then it's not going to have its own signature statement and pop. You know, it'll more so be like a meld of it all. So I don't want that. One thing I like about this sizing is, so if I brought this up a little more, because this needs to be up a little bit more on this side. What I do like about this is if it stayed this length, right, because I'm going to have a clamshell up here, if it stayed this length, then I like that the thickest parts here are not at the thickest parts here, you know. Let me see the length of this. Let me hold it up against me. Yeah, so I'm not going to want a whole lot going on with the connector. I'm not going to want a whole lot going on with the connector because where I would want this for length, this is at my collarbone. So I wouldn't want to have something like super cool, flashy, or big, or anything like that because it's going to be on and above my collarbone. Okay, so let's just try it. Let's try this. Let's try this. I don't think it would look bad. Nope, not at all. Not at all. I'm just wondering on that spacing, and these are not jump rings, these are links. Yep, those are links. Okay, and that's okay because I wanted to pull in my rainbow jump rings just to kind of flow it all up through. Okay, so let's go ahead and close this off. I think we're good with that. Okay, so we'll close that off. Okay, I'll bring that to the side. And I didn't get out, I did not. Yeah, I'm going to want to go quick because I still have an earring and this 3-strand bracelet. So most likely that part that I was going to just speed through, I'm probably going to just skip through it. Just so that I can get this out without it being a 2.5 hour long tutorial, you know? Okay, so let's go here and bring him to the top. Nice and squished. Okay. First let gravity get that put together. I'm going to rewind it up because I definitely want movement, and that's the reason why I opted for fine. I wanted this movement in this layer. Okay, so we'll close him off. Trim him off. Close him up. Okay, so here's that strand. Okay, so that is good. Like it. Like it a lot. Like it a lot. Okay, so if we were to just connect this with the ring, so let's go down here. Okay, so let's come in here. Open him more, yeah? Here I was all thinking, oh, I helped myself somehow and had that already open. Okay. I think it will look cool with these rainbow jump rings on that bronze. I think that'll look cool. And could I pull up a filigree piece up here? I could, but it's already on my collarbone. You know, and if it's already at my collarbone, I don't want to have a chunk of filigree right on and above my collarbone. So, no. If it was a little bit shorter, yep, I could. Okay. So here is that side. And now let's peek and see how they lay. That's not too shabby. That's not too shabby. Nope, not too shabby at all. Yeah, I don't think that's too bad. Okay, move on, Amy, move on. bulked that all up. I don't know what I was doing there. See how he wants to naturally be. Okay. So he's down here. He looks open pretty well. Let's see. Worked out. Worked out. Okay. So let's see here. That's how it would be looking. I like that. Let me put it up against me and make sure that that's like not too short or something. Oh no, goodness. Oh no. Love. Okay, 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 okay. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. I am happy. I'm happy. That's so fun. Okay, so this is going to be connecting to our chain. So let me see how much of this chain we'll need. Okay, and it is, I have the big one on there, so I'll keep this big one. And it is a pretty big toggle, so be mindful of that. Okay, so I'm going to open up this link here because I'm going to keep that big part, and I'm still going to jump ring because that's just fun. But I'm going to do it to the biggest part. I love that this chain has links that all individually open. That just opens up so many options, you know? And even though they all still open, I'm still not going to utilize that because I'm going to be using my fun jump rings, but still. Okay, so let's pull out a head pin and get our center determined. And this big guy down here is the center. Okay, so what I'll probably do is leave the big ones for the back and then connect them with jump rings to these little smaller links. Okay, so we are good there. That does look like I need some more jump rings, so I'll grab those real quick. Okay, fun. Okay, because I'll probably use those in the bracelets too, so. So I'm going to connect the small here. Come on, little guy. Oh. There we go. Okay. So here we are with that one. And then over here. Oh, you know. Come here, guy. Okay. Let's scooch him down, and then remember I am going to be doing some E6000 for this focal just to give it kind of that barrier on the back, you know, so it's all kind of protected, not only secure but protected and kind of all together in one piece. And you know what? You know what I might do? When I do that E6000, I may get one of the bigger bead caps, you know, big bead cap that's more flat, and put that up against the back to where that bead cap kind of, you know, holds with that E6000 and all of that. I think I think that's what I'll do. Okay, so let's get this toggle on, and our necklace is complete. And then how about we do the bracelet next, followed by the earrings. The bracelet's going to be a triple to single strand, using a little bit kind of the same method, but not super matchy. So let's see. There we go. That's pretty thick. I wasn't taking that into consideration. We'll see. We'll see. I want to make sure there's movement. I don't want it to get all kinked up, but that's pretty thick. Let's just see where we are with it. Oh, with how thin our chain is, that might be all right. Yeah, I think we'll be good. No. Nope. Nope, that's too snug. Okay, so hold on, and I will use an oval jump ring on, oops, sorry, on this side. Or actually, yeah, let's do an oval. Let's do an oval. I think an oval would be better than connecting two of these together. So let's get our oval in here. If I was selling this piece, I would change out the other side and do an oval on that side too. This is my pretty necklace. Unless one of my friends ends up calling dibs. I could totally see her doing it. And if that's the case, she won't mind. Okay, so our double strand necklace is done. And we are gonna make a fun bracelet now. Love it, love it, love it. So here we are. Let's bring that down here like so. And this is fun. Fun, 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 fun. Oh, that is cool. I like it a bunch. See all the color, how it just kind of, oh yeah, oh, so good, so good. Okay, so our bracelet, I have made one strand, okay? So yeah, as you can see, there's a lot going on with this too, but it'll be quick and easy. Yeah, not too shabby. Okay, so let me separate this stuff out. Here, let me get this all cleaned up and separated out, okay? Because I also have wire to cut. I'll be right back. Okay, so almost the same thing as these links I'm going to be doing here, okay? but I need to be mindful because this is one of the 3 strands. We're going to be replicating one of these. There's going to be 2 just like this and then a center strand. And this is already 4 inches. I do not want this to be too long. And this is 1 inch all by itself, but I definitely want to incorporate it. Okay, so I need to be mindful to have my loops directly on the outside of this, and those loops are going to be connecting our toggle. Okay, I want there to be movement, but still, you know. So that's what I'm looking for. So I'm just going to be doing kind of the same thing that we did here. So I have this 26 gauge gold wire. So I'm going to put this in half. Okay. And I'll come in and be easy peasy. And the reason why I was wanting to do it this way is because I want this to be like, no matter, I'm sorry, I said both the clasps. It's gonna, one side's gonna connect to the bracelet, the other side's gonna connect to the other side of the toggle. But I want it to be no matter which way, if this flips, it's all gonna be beautiful. So it's not gonna matter if there's like a front and a back or whatever the case is. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna do just my little hook here and close that in on itself easily. Okay, that looks good. And we're gonna do just a little bit of a difference in that flower design. So what I'm looking for on this is I do want still this at the tip top. So our little rainbow spacer. So he's going to come all the way up there. And then behind that rainbow spacer, I'm wanting 3mm bead cap. Okay, facing down towards it, because then I'm going to pull in one of these. This was in the center of our bigger flowers. So it's gonna be like this. And then behind it, I'm gonna do one of our petal bead caps here, followed by one of the bead caps that came in the box. We are using one of the bead caps from the box. So that's what we're looking at here. So cute, right? And then I'm using this one, and it also came with that whole grouping. Actually, I'll show you. It has all of these goodies in here. So it has some bigger ones, lots and lots of goodies in here. And so, and it was a really reasonable price. I don't remember what the price was right off, but really reasonable price. So that was all together. I'll have that linked below. And so this is then going to pop in here. And is that not so pretty? Love it. Love it. And then I'm going to feed this through here. Just beautiful, right? Just so beautiful. Absolutely love it. And then back here, I'm gonna actually wait, I'm gonna hold off on that. I'm gonna come in with our bronze that's 28 gauge. And on that bronze, I'm gonna also bring it to half, just that I know we're about half. But then I'm gonna come in with my round nose pliers after I put my other pliers up. Okay, I'm gonna be at the very tip. So I'm gonna be right down here at the very tip. I'm going to close it in, crisscross it until it's flat, and I want to make sure that those two are together. And then this little bitty loop, is going to go over our 2 strands. Let me get these the same size here. Okay. So our 2 strands are going to go through that little bitty loop. Come here, little 2 strands. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and put that 4mm bead cap on there just as my backing. And then I'm going to come in here I'm going to grab that bronze, and I'm telling you, this pull is like hardly nothing. Like I'm just pulling a little bit just to get it tight down on there. Okay. And at that point, I will bring down my gold wire and make sure that it is all the way up against. So I'm going to flat, 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 as flat as I can get it. Then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to twist these wires. So I'm holding on to the front here, like so. I have my thumb on the back center. I'm going to twist these. I'm kind of bringing my thumb down as I go, because I don't want it to end up, you know, making this super, super tight and the rest not. And that's what it instinctively will want to do. And I don't need it as long because I'm not going to be putting like a bunch of beads on there. Okay, so that's about good. What are we at? About 1 3/4. That works for me. Okay, so I'm going to turn this side off. Okay, do the same thing on this side. Oh, and I bet my volume is weird. I had to charge my phone while I was doing this. Hold on, let me plug my volume back in. Actually, it'll be okay. We'll be okay for the rest of this, right? Hopefully. I'll see you whenever I'm editing. But sometimes if I plug it in the midst, it becomes kind of odd when I'm editing, so I think I'm gonna leave it. But whenever I was like, okay, let me get this separated, and I may as well go ahead and plug my phone in, let it get a little bit of charge, and it was at like 18%. Yeah, I'm glad I plugged my phone in for a minute here. A little bit more. I love twisting wire together. That looks about the same. Well, let's check, shall we? Oh, it's not the same. Just in case, let's give a couple more twists. All right, that should be good. Okay, so I want to bring out my little #1 crimps just to fill that gap back there and to make sure it kind of also gives it some extra stability, you know. So it takes 7, so we'll do 7. He's a little guy. So So is he. Okay, so we have that 7, and we may as well, just for cuteness factor, let's go ahead and put a spacer on there. Our little rainbow hematite. Ooh, maybe we'll go with the little one after all. Oh, just one should do. Okay, there we go. And I'll go ahead and do my wrapped loop on this side. That is so cute. Oh, that is so cute. I'm gonna go ahead and close that up because I do think most likely I am going to want, and I think it would be good if I still had jump rings for the, you know, movement aspect of it. Okay. Okay. He looked like he was going over that hematite spacer. Looks like there's a little bump there. You see that? So I'm gonna try to squeeze that in just to tighten that a little, and then pinch that off. Okay. So then we're gonna have that little loop on each side. So then we'll do that same thing real quick here on this other side. Seven. And I didn't realize that the holes in these are bigger than the holes in the bigger ones, but they are. They sure are. Okay. We'll do this other wrapped loop. Super cute. I'm super happy about this. Like really, really happy about it. Straighten you out, buddy. Isn't that just so cute? This is such a cute process. It's not hard at all to do. And it really opens you up to so many different options with so many different pieces and so many different beads, because you have that option. You can turn it into a link, you can turn it into a pendant, it can be a button, like you choose. It's so much better than just like wrapping it in a piece of wire, and you know, this gives you so many more options. And it gave me the ability to stack, and I love stacking. You know, there's that. Okay, so let's get this stuff out of the way just a little bit, and we may end up using you, so we'll kind of hang tight. Okay, come over here. All right, so here's this. Cute. Okay, set you aside here. Okay, so let's talk about our strands. Let's go ahead and replicate the strand. So these are the little bicones that we received in the box. This is part of that mix, right? And then I pulled these in. So cute. Love it. Love all the color. Love that there. Love that. And we'll do a little bit of something different on the focal for that. But yeah, so we're going to come in here with a spacer bead to start. We're going to have all sorts of bead caps. I just like all sorts of bead caps. So we will bead cap one of our bicones. we're also going to have a ton of little spacer beads too. Fun, fun, fun. Okay, come on up here. Then we'll do spacer. Then we'll bead cap one of these little like translucent barrels. These are so fun and they look just amazing with those bead caps. Love them. Perfect for a 3mm bead cap. So look at that guy. Isn't that just super cute? Just perfect on there. Okay. Another one of these. We'll jump back into that bicone. And another spacer. And then we're going to do that same series that we did here on this strand using those same beads. So we have here spacer, bead cap going towards the back of that spacer, center spacer all by itself, bead cap going away because it's going to be capping that final one. Okay, so bead cap going away, another one of these guys, and spacer. Easy peasy. Okay, then let's just bead cap. Actually, I don't think, nope, I didn't. I was gonna say I didn't think I did. Okay, so then we're just going to, after that, we're gonna do one of these bicones all by itself. It's not gonna have a bead cap on it. Okay, but then it's gonna have, and actually let me look, it is it? Nope, it's just one of the babies. I thought I used one of the bigger ones. Okay, so one of the little spacers with a 3mm bead cap going towards that spacer. He's just barely sticking out down there. That's cute. Okay, and then we're gonna do a series of 3 of these. Okay, and so then I'm gonna do a bead cap on top of it because it's gonna be the bead cap that's on the underneath of the next guy. So bead cap on top of this for that guy. Then we're gonna end with a bead cap. Now we're gonna put another spacer in here, but then we're gonna come forward with a bead cap going away, one of the 3mm gold. We're gonna pull in one of our bronze and one of our rondelles. And that's gonna be the center of the 2 outer strands. Then we're just gonna go right back down that series, okay? So I'm gonna come in here, then we're gonna do bead cap, flower, bead cap, flower, bead cap, and a flower. Okay, so then now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do that same bead cap and we're gonna put a little spacer. And then a bicone all by itself, no bead caps. It's like the one thing in this entire bracelet without a bead cap is one single bicone on each side of those 2 strands. Oh. Okay, and then we're gonna go into our spacer series. And rainbow. So cool. Love it so much. Now we're going to bead cap these 2 for this series. So we're going to put a bead cap on both sides of this bicone. Little spacer. Then we're going to bead cap that super, super cool square bead. So fun. Little spacer. And then we will bead cap that last bicone. And then we'll put our last spacer. And that is what 2 of our 3 strands looks like. So let me make sure I didn't miss something. That looks mighty good to me. Works. All right, very good. So we'll come in here, close this one off. I'm going to fold it up in my hand just to make sure we have some movement on it. Trim him up. Close him off. Then let's knock out that center strand. So these two are going to be on the outside. So for our center strand, what I'm wanting the center to be is one of these, okay? And we're going to bead cap it the same we did up here. So we're going to pop on one of these. We're going to do that 5mm bronze followed by a 3mm gold. Okay, so do that other side. I thought I had him. Okay, now we are going to do a spacer in between these. So there's going to be a spacer, there's going to be a spacer. And then on the other side is going to be this. Okay, so then we're going to go right into that gold. Woohoo. That gold followed by bronze, a rondelle, bronze, gold, so gold, bronze, rondelle, bronze, and gold. Okay, so far when we're doing this, that is what we're looking at. I like it. Yep, I certainly do. Okay, so we are going to put a spacer on both sides. So we'll pop on a spacer there. And then we are going to do one of the bicones that is no bead cap. Okay, so both sides. So bicone, bicone. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to pull these guys in, okay? But instead of them going away like they are on the outer strands, I want them to be coming towards the center, okay? So I'm going to do, and here's the question, do I want, let's try it. I don't think initially I had put a spacer in here for this, or that I wanted one in here, but I'm thinking I do now. So let's see what that does to our length. This has to match those because these are already done. Okay, but I think we'll be okay. Let's see. Okay, so now it's going towards. Okay, so we'll do that bead cap. Another, and we're doing that same series of 3 though. There's that, and then another bead cap. And then I'm going to go ahead and just finish out this side, okay? So after this, I'm going to do a spacer, and then I'm going to fall into this little series right here. Okay, so I'm going to do with these guys. Facing towards the back, one all by itself, this one going away, and then that one, and a spacer. And then to end out this strand, because I like them so much, I just wanted one of those guys. So let's do that, and then do that other side, and then see where we are on our length, see if I just messed that all up or not. And if I did, it'll be okay, we'll figure it out. It'll be just fine. But again, I'm really hopeful this isn't a 2.5 hour long tutorial. Okay, so on this guy, I want him. This is coming down. Flower. Bead cap. Flower. these flowers. I've had them for quite some time. I remember there was a ton of them. So whatever it was, I had to have bought it at a store because it came with like 3 strands of just those. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll have those forever and ever. Yeah, well, I've had them forever and ever. However, that's all I have left. And they're so cool. I just like them so much. I don't ever want to run out. And I'm hoping it wasn't Joann's that I got them at. I haven't seen them at Hobby Lobby, but I'm hoping it wasn't Joann's because then we're just really out of luck, right? Okay, so another spacer here, and then we'll jump into this guy. I told you guys we are not messing around in the bead cap department today. Lots of bead caps, especially little bead caps, and especially stacking those bead caps makes for a very great start of my week. I mean, I hope it is for yours as well. It definitely makes a great start to my week because that is my what? My happiness. Okay, so we're at the end of the road here, and hopefully we're not having to restrand this because I've decided to put an extra spacer in. So let's look and see what our size would be. Now, I know, let me go ahead and measure this fully straight on without. It's exactly 4 without our clamshell connector, okay? Exactly 4. Oh, what? I can do another spacer? It's just shy. Oh, that's cool. Okay, I have an idea. Why don't I just pull in one of these, and that should be our difference. Well, that works out because it would have been even more shorter. It would have been, you know, that much more short. Super cute, and this is how they're gonna line up. So cute. That's so pretty. I love that. So good. Okay, let's close this off because I'm kind of thinking I did a pretty good job on these earrings, or the earring that I made so far, that we're gonna do a second one of. I just had fun. I had fun. Okay, these closed off. Sliding down, move those. Oh, I guess I needed one of those, didn't I? You know. Okay, put him in here. Let's fold this in half. Oh, isn't that just so pretty? Oh, it's just so pretty. Oh, it's so pretty. I love it. Oh, I don't think I'm going to give this bracelet away. I say that. It's hard telling. It's like in the moment of when I feel I should be giving a bracelet away, it doesn't matter how much I love the bracelet. It's all about how much could they love that bracelet, you know? Could that change their day? Oh, he's poking outside here. Where's my clippers? Clippers are like perfect for this. Okay, so here's what we're looking at, and here's what we're going to do. Okay, so I want a jump ring on each of these guys individually, for sure. And then they will connect to this. The toggle will connect over here, one side, and the other side of the toggle will be over here. Deal? So I'll probably speed this up, okay, because I do think this is going to run a little long. So I'm going to just hang tight. I'm going to come back. I'm going to get all of these little jump rings on. These guys are all with their needed jump rings. Now I think I'm going to get I think I'll do a gold jump ring and connect these guys all together because I don't want these directly on this little bitty loop, right? All right, so what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna connect each of these jump rings to this jump ring, and this jump ring is gonna connect to that little focal flower. That way we know we have movement, and I need to do these in order because they're not laying in order. Here we go. So there, here's our focal, here's our other side, and then this is going to connect to him here. Okay, so close this up. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna like that a whole bunch, a whole bunch. Okay, and this other side is going to go to one side of our toggle. Okay, so let's do here, here, and the toggle that I'm using looks like a little flower. Now it's only one-sided, but that's okay. It's okay. Pop him on. Make sure that's closed up really well. Okay, and then on this side, I'm going to connect all of these three to a gold jump ring, and then that's going to go to the bar part of the toggle. That's so adorable. And then we're going to make an earring, you know, the other earring for the set. Okay, now I'm going to bring this way because I want to make sure I'm still going in order. And then I'm grabbing these jump rings as they would want to be grabbed. Okay, and I think I turned that other guy, right? So he's gonna go on this way. And then, actually I think I'm gonna put the bar on its own jump ring just to make sure that it has, I hope it doesn't make it too long. If it does, I'm gonna remove that jump ring. I will remove said jump ring. Okay, so him on like so. This, my friends, is what we are looking at. Oh, just so happy. I love it. Okay, so moment of truth. Here we go. I am one lucky gal. Why, yes, yes, I am. Oh, who struggles with even putting on toggle bracelets sometimes. Come on. Come in here. Okay. Oh, so cute. So here's my thought is, oh, is that not so cute? Actually, it doesn't matter how on earth it goes. That is just adorable. Okay, super cute and super happy. And actually I could go another jump ring, so I'll probably add another jump ring to that. It'll help with the fluidity of it, and it will give me just a little more wiggle room. Okay, so here is our bracelet. Oh, I have to move stuff out of the way. Can't set my bracelet down on top of a bunch of stuff. Okay, scooch. And that is just so cute, right? Okay, wait till you see the earrings. Wait. Okay. Look at this. Is that so fun? Or what? I love it. I just love it. Okay, that's what we're gonna be making. And it's gonna be easy. So here's how we're gonna do it. Have all these goodies all laid out here for us. and it's going to come together really, really quick. So we are going to do one of those bigger hematite spacer beads, and then I'm going to do a 3mm gold that's going down on top of that with one of our little bellflowers, a 4mm bead cap on it, just so that we have a little poke coming through there, okay, with the blue. And then it's going to be a different bead cap system. So I have this bead cap, and the reason why is because I only had one more of these. I don't know what happened to the other one. I know there was 6, couldn't find it, so it just was not meant to be. Okay, so I'm going to have this guy here, and yep, I popped on just a little pop of bronze on top of that. And then I am doing another big, actually, did I? Yep, they're both big. Good, good. Then I'm going to pop on one of those, and then on top of that, we're going to have fun. So setting one of these on, okay, he looks a little wonky, but it works out perfectly whenever I add this. So when we're looking down at it, that's so cute, just so cute. Okay, and then I think, yep, just adding that square bead, and then popping on one of our little petal bead caps, followed by a little bronze, and then one of our little spacers. That's all there is to it, but is that not just adorable? Love it, love it. Okay, so I'm gonna make a quick wrap loop, and we will connect it, and then we are good. So we're just gonna wrap this up. Okay. Give him a little wrap. I forgot, he is a little springy. I couldn't think of the word. Okay, we will trim this off. Whoop. Yeah, I hope when I find that it's not with curse words involved because it's in my foot. So fingers crossed for me on that, please. And so from here, I'm just gonna pop this guy open. And put him on. See it when you're looking down at it? Isn't that so cool? And it's a little more, you know, bam bam than what my earrings typically are. So just love that. Love that. My friends, thanks for being here with me. I am just having a blast with these boxes. If I had more time, if I had more time. The only other thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be popping on some E6000 on the back of this. Just, you know, we've already talked about why. I think that'll be great. And then this is cool. This is cool. I'm super happy about it. I hope you guys like this. I hope maybe you learned a little something here. If not, then maybe you were inspired to, you know, to do something else of your own. Either way, I sure appreciate you being here with me today. I absolutely do. And my friends, happy Monday. I hope your week's fantastic. Bye-bye. Hi. You gonna play with Jasper some more? Come on. Tell me I didn't miss it. Come on. You can play with Jasper. Oh, you can get him. Easy though, Jasper. Easy, buddy. You're okay, bud. Where'd Jasper go? Where'd Jasper go? Hi, baby.